everybody, Tashi here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back. Look who I have today. Yes, it's Oscar. To everyone new, hello and welcome. Baby Oscar is my full-bodied silicone baby boy. He's the Dwayne number 2 by Claire Taylor. So I haven't really been missing him because I pick him up and I spend quite a bit of time with this baby. Well, the time that I have, I should say. But he hasn't been on film in the last few videos, and so I thought I would bring him on today, and I'm going to feed him a bottle. I'm not doing a drink and wet feeding. I'm just doing a formula bottle. Because he needs to be fed, and I thought we would chat. So he's looking so super sweet in this little short all romper by, I think this one is a Next, and it is orange with navy blue safari animals all over it. There's zebras and elephants, tigers, giraffes, lions, and the neck has a navy blue trim, and it has 2 snaps up top here. So to those of you new that are wondering why I'm explaining what he's wearing when you all are looking and can see it, is because we do have a good number of members in this community that are seeing impaired, that are blind, and they watch our videos and they rely on us to describe, what they're looking at so that they can enjoy too. So I haven't reminded everyone of that in a long while, so I figured I would say that. So here is his bottle. It's his glass Claire Taylor bottle with the blue silicone nipple, and I've got some lubricant here. I use the lubricant, the KY, well, generic of KY jelly. This is the CVS brand, but any brand works. That's just regular, not like you wouldn't want to use like anything colored or scented or whatever, but just the regular KY lubricant works well, and it keeps from the paint, on their lips and their mouth, from being damaged. A trick a lot of silicone collectors that do bottle feedings use. So, oh, he's hungry today. So I tried to get y'all down pretty low so that you could see Oscar getting fed as opposed to looking at me. I know you rather see the baby, I'm sure. So I thought I would chat a little bit today. It's probably going to be a little bit of a mishmash of topics, but it's going to be like a, topic related chat. So those of you that don't enjoy those kind of videos from me, feel free to skip over, which is actually, I'll start with my first thing as far as drama. What is drama? What do you all consider drama? I'm probably going to ask you all several questions that you could leave in the comments, but the first and main one is I'm curious to see what everyone's going to comment as far as what you feel classifies as drama, because technically anything that we talk about, if we talk about anything in our lives or any sort of topics, that's, if we're not just like role playing and changing a baby and talking about the clothing or talking about the sculpts or whatever, if we're talking pretty much about anything else, technically that could be considered drama. But drama is, in this community, it is more of like a taboo word, or not a taboo word, because that would be a word you would avoid, but it's become a dirty word. Drama has become a dirty word in this community, bottom line. So when people say, they don't want drama, they avoid drama, it's, talking about avoiding negativity, things like that, bullying and name calling and videos going back and forth and things like that. So that's the dirty word of drama. But there's a whole other side of, quote, drama, that is topics, informative discussions, sharing awareness, sharing thoughts and opinions, etc. Is that, do you all consider that the dirty part of drama? Or, where do you have a line that you define, and what do you consider drama and what do you consider just talking? That was my first question coming out of the gates. And my feelings on it are, well, basically just what I said, talking about things. Now, I talk about topics and, current topics, relevant things, awareness, things of that nature on my channel. Most of you that have been with my channel know that. And to anyone new, I am, I have a mix of the dolls and talking about the babies and sculpts and the art and the clothing and all of that good stuff, as well as talking about relevant topics. I talk a little bit about, I share a little bit about my life. I might say, what I did over the weekend or how the kids are doing, or just, general stuff. I definitely talked a bit during the time that before, during, and after when I went in for the spine surgery, because obviously I was still coming on and making videos, but I was in quite a bit of pain, which if you all remember, I couldn't even sit. I was standing making the videos, so I was kind of like giving an explanation as to why I was standing in all the videos. But anyway, so technically that would be considered drama, as a technical definition, but I don't think that most people look at that as a bad, bad way or bad word. So that was my first thing. And like I said, this is a little bit of a mishmash. Another part I wanted to talk about is for newcomers. And I wanted to talk about the dynamics of the community, relationships, friendships, etc. It is my opinion that this is a fairly large community it's a very large community, and it's growing. The doll collecting community, I think that this is becoming a more and more popular hobby, collector's hobby. I think we are constantly getting, newcomers. It's a more up and coming thing. Whether or not it will ever be like, quote, a mainstream hobby, never say never. You never know. All it takes is, some more exposure, and maybe some good exposure. Like, for instance, a lot of times when like a news will cover, say, something like, life, like, women that play with dolls, or life like dolls, they kind of put a twist on it to get more views in the news, to make it look more like odd and catching, like people more like, oh, ah, jaw dropping, like, oh, wow, people do this, instead of portraying it in just a normal way, like, hey, this is a hobby, it's an ever growing hobby, and women and men people should not feel ashamed, of this hobby. It's just no different than any other hobby, if you think about it, and especially adult hobbies. If you think about, if you were collecting cars or trains or something like that, that's men and women playing with toys. If you're into ham radio and all the ham radio equipment, and in a club and stuff like that, it's adult play. It's the bottom line, is hobbies are adult play, period. So possibly one day, this, people wouldn't, there may come a day when someone that has never seen a reborn or silicone doll, or never really realized that people collect them, would pop on one of our channels and not be, freaked out. Well, then that would mean that they've seen it, I guess I should say, would mean that it's more exposed as a normal, mainstream hobby. So if someone popped on, they would say, oh yeah, that's that, hobby that's growing popular. I would love to see that, because I think that there's probably a lot of women out there, and men, so I keep saying ladies, I'm sorry, people. I'm sure that there is a lot of people out there that shy away from and are missing out on the hobby that they would enjoy, for fear of ridicule, judgment, by family, friends, and strangers. And so, yeah, it would definitely be nice to see a change in that respect. One thing I could say that we all as a community can do to help facilitate that and make that better is not, portray ourselves as a bunch of, nuts, women acting like children, back and forth, making videos that nobody else understands except the person that you're yelling at, or calling people names. All kinds of stuff goes on. So that would be definitely one way. I think we've talked to death, about, the current goings on. So I'm not talking about that or anything in specific, but I think that I've only been here a couple years, but just by speaking to ladies that have been here longer, this is something that has gone on in one sense or another, like the back and forth videos and stuff like that. It's just something that's always been here. So if we can be more mindful about the content that we're putting out, and I'm not telling anyone what to, they can or can't put on their channels, etc., because you see how easy, it will be for somebody to run and say, oh, here we've got the police here telling everybody what to do on their channels. I am simply making suggestions and trying to reason with the reasonable people. And I am not saying that I am not at fault, or that I've never made mistakes, that I don't make mistakes, that I won't make mistakes. Just because somebody has good advice or great advice that may be the correct thing to do, that they try their best to do, doesn't mean that they get it right 100% of the time either. I may know how to, eat really healthy and exercise well, but I may not, have the willpower to follow that diet all the time. we all, are hypocrites in a way, because, some of us do have really good and reasonable advice, and then they say, and people will say, well, practice what you preach. Well, you try, you do your best, you do your very best, but that doesn't mean you can't open your mouth and share if you have a good thought. And I think that the more people that are doing it, that are paying attention to when you come on to make a video, just take a second to think about why you're making the video, and what it's about. I mean, I know sometimes, like, oh, come on, and I don't have a specific subject, but what I'm saying is think about if you're coming on to vent because you're angry and you want to vent and you want to, get things off your chest and curse your enemy out, or defend yourself, prove yourself right, that sort of thing. Think about that. First off, think about the fact that, think about the fact that I think a lot of ladies are learning here to do what I do practice 99.9% of the time, which is I'm not going to watch somebody talking about me, somebody saying negative things, somebody, I may be aware that it's there because I've heard through the grapevine, so to speak, somehow, some way, somebody came across and would say, hey, there's this video there about you. And, if I look and I see that it's going to be something unkind, I don't care to hear what I'm not going to waste my time and put that negative energy. So I think that a lot of ladies are doing that now. So it's like a waste of breath. It's better off just to talk to a friend, to, brush up on coping skills, as opposed to coming out and getting on a public worldwide platform to do these type of things. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a worldwide platform. Yes, however, YouTube's algorithms and how, their suggested video, and of course who we're subscribed to and things like that, the greater majority of people that are watching our videos are in the doll collecting community, but anybody could potentially pop on a video, as well as new people can pop in that have no idea who or what you're talking about. They just see you in a negative light, because it doesn't speak poorly about whoever they're subliminally trying to talk about. It speaks poorly of the character of the person that is getting up on a worldwide platform and doing that. So I think that that's something that we could pay attention to, before we make a video. Think about, perhaps what is on our mind, what kind of mood we're in, and etc. And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I've never, vented on video. I'm just saying I think it's a good idea. I think it makes sense. I think we should all try our best. I am going to try my best. That's what I'm saying with regard to that, because, I think the more that we do that kind of stuff, the more that we are isolating ourselves in this hobby. For this hobby not to grow on the general quote public, for the way that we are behaving. Most of us here are grown-ups. I mean, I know obviously there's some young folks in the community, and I know some kids do watch our channels, but probably the majority of I mean, their kids are socializing with peers their age, I think anyway. I mean, I know I'm not like socializing with children, so that's my next thing, is that everybody will have a place here. This is a very big community. It's a very diverse community, because it's, when we get on YouTube to connect, let's just, leave other social media out and just say YouTube. But of course there is others, you have all, Facebook and Instagram, other social media as well. But I'm just saying, for YouTube, yeah, it's all over the world. So obviously there is going to be, diversity. It is mostly, ladies, but there are some men, and, we all have that one thing in common, which is the doll collecting. And that may be the only thing we have in common with some people. And even that, we may differ greatly in the type of dolls we collect, how we interact with them, how we show them, etc. But you can clearly see that there is definitely a niche and a place for everyone here. And if you're new and coming in, it takes time, just like it takes time anywhere else in life, to organically grow your relationships. So you're going to tend to, watch the channels of people that you enjoy and relate to. If you're putting out content, you're going to attract people that enjoy and relate to you. You're going to cross paths with people that you can relate to, even if it's that you got the same sculpt, you bought from the same artist, you had the same customer service issue with someone, etc., etc. There's like a gazillion ways that us ladies, will cross paths here, and friendships grow organically. What I see happening, and I've seen it happening quite a bit and causing kind of a lot of, the dirty drama, as we should call it, go on, is people will not, how do I say this without, you see people being very pushy, being impatient, being pushy, going after friendships, just thinking, oh, I think that person should be my friend, just because we have this or that in common, and, then riding that person, that is gonna do nothing but turn the other person off. It's natural, it's human nature. It's like, with like dating, if one person is doing all the chasing, well, that's never gonna happen, and obviously those two people don't gel and connect in that way, or it's not gonna happen at that time. So you see that, for whatever the reason, whether it's people want to be in a certain quote group, they want to feel like they're popular. To me, I don't see this as, I see us all on the same level here. As far as that, we're all doll collectors, and if you're a channel creator, we're all channel creators, period. And you get into your niches, based on your organic, friendships that grow. Some people's channels, take off and blossom and grow quick. Some people's, channels, they start a channel, they try very hard and it doesn't blow up, why? I don't know. It's life. It's just, there could be a gazillion reasons. I don't know how to analyze the algorithm in the YouTube and why people, I have no clue. But either way, it's not the norm to see a channel have nobody. It's not the norm to see somebody come into the community and have not even a few friends. So if you have a few good friends and some nice viewers, I've said this from the beginning when I started my channel, and I had a couple people watching, and then I got like 10 people watching, and I was like, wow, I have 10 people that are watching and commenting on my channel, and I'm making friends, and I was thrilled with that. Not saying that I don't love you all and that I'm not thrilled to have you all here and have my channel continue to grow. The more the merrier. And of course I love, getting around and getting to know everybody from, all over the world and all different types of collectors. And, of course I love that. But I wouldn't have been unhappy if I had a smaller, group and niche. It's whatever is meant to happen happens. I look at that as in God's hands, like with anything and everything in life. We are not in the driver's seat, the man upstairs is. That's what I believe. So it's the same thing here, as far as, what happens. So I see when people push others that are not being responsive and that, are of course being polite, but that just, you can kind of see that they're just, being polite, but running in the other direction. And, for whatever the reason, you see people get fixated on certain channels and certain people, and they can't help themselves. That's not healthy for either party. It's not healthy for the person that feels like they've got a vice grip on them and that they're, somebody's constantly messaging them, coming at them, pushing them. And it's not healthy for the person that's doing it either, that's seeking that, what's not happening organically. It's not good for either side. So it's so much better, if you get the social cue and the feeling from someone that they're not being receptive, and perhaps if you back off, if it's really meant to happen, then they'll say, oh gee, I missed talking to you, I missed your messages. And if they don't, then that's your cue to leave it alone and find another friend. When you get in your niche of friends, you're going to know, because you're going to be having, fun together, and it's going to be a two-way relationship that's growing and not one person pushing. And like I said, I'm not just saying that for the people that are getting, like stalked and harassed here. I'm saying that for the other end too, that it's not healthy, because our brains, like, that can happen, and it can happen more than people realize and people think. It's like when we get addicted to, like, a TV series or something that we're like, oh, we gotta go, watch it. But then we get like so involved with the characters where we're like naming our pets after this actress and that actress. And I'm not saying that that's totally unhealthy, but some people can get it to an unhealthy level, and it can happen here. And I'm not talking about, just to channel creators. I don't mean that in the way of like comparing channel creators here to like TV star. That's not what I mean at all, because it can happen between two parties that are on Instagram or on Facebook. It can happen to two parties within this community, whether there is, a channel going on or not. So it's my advice for everybody to do a little bit of soul searching and taking your own inventory, as opposed to worrying about taking everyone else's inventory and who's doing what and who you don't like and who you think is this or that or the other thing. Don't watch their channels, and if you think they're talking about you or they're blatantly talking about you, you don't have control over that anyway. So it's unhealthy to watch. The healthy thing to do is click off, block the person, and if they're just going to continue on talking about you, then that's going to show their character and their true colors, and people are eventually going to see like, wow, this person is just constantly, belittling and name calling and whatever they're doing, and the other person doesn't even know they exist. So like it makes you look ridiculous. So help yourselves in that way, because we all can get sucked into the quote dirty drama here in the community and on YouTube. I've been guilty of it myself, and I've had to say to myself at various different times, hey, I need to take a step back. I can maybe continue to make my videos, but how I'm interacting the rest of the time behind the scenes, just take a huge step back and just not be there and just be busy myself with other things in life. Think about how much time you're spending on the social media, and then think about how you're spending that time. Are you spending it enjoying talking with your friends about dolls and nesting and waiting for the next baby? Or are you spending your time talking about this person's situation, that person, what this person did to you, etc., etc.? I think you all probably get the picture. So instead of continuing to ramble on, I am going to let you all go, but let's think about what we consider dirty drama. What do you consider clean drama? And let's get a little conversation going. All right, everyone, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Oscar's looking so adorable. All right, everyone, till next time, God bless.